All right, y'all. Look. I just gotta tell y'all. Okay, we fresh off of Money in the Bank, and I had a couple of surprises in there. That I was like, okay, WWE, I like this. I don't care whose decision it was. I don't care who's mad at who. As long as we do what's best for business, and that means getting Casey a wedding ring to wear around his waist because it's the only way he gonna ever fit any sort of belt. But anyway, look. Money in the Bank 2025 is in the books, and we got to talk about it. All right, we got to talk about it from big returns to we got two more Money in the Bank holders, which means WWE just got that much more interesting and that much more exciting. So I'm gonna let y'all get y'all's popcorn, get y'all's drink, and we're gonna come back. The crew gonna come back and we're gonna talk about WWE Money in the Bank 2025 as we get ready to it's the last half of the farewell tour for our guy, the Never Seen 17. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Let's see how it goes. We're gonna review this thing, and I want y'all to get y'all's popcorn, get y'all's drink, and come on back and just hang out with us. All right, let's go. All right, what is going on, good people? We are back once again, okay, with this Money in the Bank 2025 review, and we got to talk about everything. And as you know, we're recording during Raw, so as things pop up, things might
popping
be said.
up right now. Breaking news: CM Punk has just interrupted John Cena.
They setting up some things going on here, okay? I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it goes. But anywho, let's jump into this review. First things first.
Excuse me, sir. If I could have the floor for just a
I
second.
think the champ needs the floor, though. I think
Champ needs the floor first.
I champ, respectfully. I just
You
need a
know
second.
what? As the champion here, I will humble myself and let those beneath me go first. So you go ahead, good
Literally.
sir.
That's what I thought. So, there's been a lot of rumors that I didn't get any points for this time, and that I'm the loser. But as the chosen, I do not covet things like materialistic things like points or championships, although it would look pretty sick on my shoulder. But I am bigger than that. I am more
Actually, you're
important.
actually
Just
smaller.
to say, not by much.
I am more important than a championship. I am the chosen. And you all. Well, listen, I tried. I really did. Okay, it was just, and then I tried to win. I technically I won because I said the winner on every single one. But you wouldn't give me that. You wouldn't give me that. You said, "Who do I pick on this one?" I said the winner.
Look,
That
look,
should be
look. I heard that it could go either way, though. That's what I heard.
It could go either
That's what
way.
I heard. Just saying.
Thank
That's what I
you.
heard.
This is
All right.
officially the stupidest intro to an episode I've ever heard.
Yep.
I heard Tanner's got some words. All right, I heard Tanner's got some words for Justin, who isn't here, of course. But real quick, I'm gonna give him his 30 seconds of fame here,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna let him cook. I'm gonna let him cook.
Because that's as long as
Thank
he
you.
lasts.
Thank you, DJ, for those wonderful words. I once again want to thank you for allowing me, or for,
Boo!
continuing to be as you are,
This guy
being
sucks.
subpar, and allowing me to rise up to the occasion and become the predictions champion again, getting
It was a pretty low bar.
every single prediction right. Justin, you was talking a lot of smack, how you was going to retain and hold on to that championship for a long time. Where's your championship now, big boy? And where are you at? You're cowering in fear, didn't want to show your face into the light that is the glorious one.
But I think we all kind of win in that scenario. So
I think we do. But you know what? We're holding on to this one right here. And you know what? There is one person that I would be okay losing to, and he's diagonal to me right here. I wouldn't mind losing to Adam here, who is like-minded, who is a like-minded individual.
I think this is a setup. This is a setup right here. Okay, this is collusion.
Ain't
no collusion here. Hey, we just got a lot of brain power amongst ourselves, and you know what? It needs to be, it needs to be,
Excuse me.
Yeah.
He is like Walmart brand chosen.
No, I'm sorry.
Well, Walmart is
brand
better than
chosen
Dollar
is the
Store.
one that got 0.
I told you, I don't covet materialistic things like points.
Well, you should probably start coveting material possessions. You would actually have 1 point.
Oh, Lord.
I have all the points. I have every point. I have points that you couldn't even win.
In what? Tiddlywinks?
If this was golf, you would be superb right now. But right now, that's not what this is.
I was told we were playing golf.
Miniature golf?
That's the only kind of golf that
table golf. Table golf.
Miniature golf? I thought that was just normal golf.
All right, so let's jump into this show here. First things first. All right. I mean, I'm sure our overall thoughts will come out throughout this whole thing. But we started out with the women's Money in the Bank match, which I thought was great. I honestly I wasn't expecting that. I don't know. When you guys picked Naomi to win, a couple of you on this panel,
I did.
No, you didn't. You picked Asuka.
No, I didn't. She wasn't even in the match.
My thought was maybe you're onto something, right? I didn't think about that beforehand, but then I got the wonder, and I'm like, y'all might be onto something here. So I got a little more comfortable with the fact that could be the reality, and it was, and I'm happy about it because I think it said some things with her and Jade, with her and Bianca possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Could even lead to Jade and Bianca on down the road. I think that's another part of it. But in terms of the match, I thought it was really good. Like I feel like it's one of those things where I feel like Money in the Bank matches, for lack of a better term, has become watered down a little bit just because they're not taking as crazy bumps anymore. But I feel like at the same time, both of these ladder matches did have their fair share of really good bumps and cool spots and whatnot. So I think it still worked. Like it's not necessarily what it used to be in terms of ladder matches, but at the same time, still really good, still really enjoyable, and I had a good time, watching this match. So what about you all? Let's go to Tanner. What did you think about the women's Money in the Bank?
Honestly, I enjoyed it from top to bottom. There's a few convoluted setups, just in any kind of like big ladder match. Oh, zooming in on you.
Wrong button.
But
hold on, Adam, DJ. I thought you always complained that the champion's supposed to go last.
Oh, you're right. Okay, next time.
No, it's fine.
Next match.
Either way, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was. Again, ladder matches need to be kind of a car crash kind of match type, and you know what? It had its spots, and you know what? To me, the right person won. People could argue for Rhea Ripley, which I would have been okay with. Honestly, I would have been fine with her winning. But you know what? Giving it to somebody who has never had it before, who has one championship reign under their belt, which I think is kind of underrated. I think this is a good chance for her to maybe get another one. But at the same time, it would not surprise me if they set it up for Naomi to be the first woman to cash in the Money in the Bank contract and lose. So it wouldn't surprise me in that sort of sense. So yeah, overall, good match. Good match.
Casey, what chosen? Hosen, what you think?
First of all, I picked Naomi. You just don't listen right. Second of no, just a couple things in general with the ladder matches and TLC. Because Adam and I had a conversation the other day about ladder matches and stuff, and how I just wish things felt more realistic. Like I want I want you to go into a match, and I want spots to look like you are just coming up with it on the spot. Like you are trying to win this match. Okay, what do I need to do? Not like, oh, this was a choreographed spot that we choreographed before the match. Like that's what I feel like it's turning into. And just in general for like these gimmick matches. Um Also, I think they need to move away from the gimmick matches. And I think we've had this conversation on the podcast in the past where they almost have to build up and like specifically like almost shoehorn storylines in to the Money in the Bank, right? They have to like, oh well, this reason or that reason. I want pay per views to be more organic, right? I want, okay, we have a problem, we have a feud, settle it at the pay per view, not just, oh, well, Money in the Bank's coming around, we gotta set up for that again, we gotta build up for that. No, I just want natural, organic storylines. And if it happens to be a ladder match for a title, cool. Um, I kind of wish that we'd have more just ladder matches for championships. It feels like it's just the TL or the Money in the Bank match that we have.
Well, and it's kind of like what we talked about before when it comes to like the gimmick pay-per-views to begin with.
Right.
Is they kind of kind of like what you just said, it pigeonholes you into having to book a 6-person ladder match every single
Right.
year, whereas have it as I mean, I think it would be even more fun if it was kind of like still once a year, but a specialty thing, not even necessarily at the same event every year. Keep the audience on the edge of their seats, kind of like Hell in a Cell used to be, where it was like, you heard that hell, and I said, well, you didn't know when it was coming, but when you heard it, you were like, okay, like I'm ready now. Same thing with this.
Or even change it like, and not to steal a gimmick from TNA, but have it be like the Feast or Fired thing, where, and not necessarily on the ring post, but have 4 different briefcases hanging above the ring, and you have to decide which one you're going to go for, and then you find out what title you got, or not necessarily got fired, because I don't want to do that, because you already know who's going to get fired in those matches, because you can just look up and be like, oh, whose contract is coming up. So
I think probably ought to go back to the way it used to be, where it was at Mania. Let it be a Mania thing. Honestly, I think that would make it better, because it's the biggest show of the year. Let it be so. Let it have its thing. You want more people on the card. People are like, no, we need to have more people on the card and everything. This is the way to do it.
that's the opposite of what I want. I don't want more people on the card. I want the people that deserve to be on the card to be on the card, not everybody in the damn company.
Well, I deserve to be on the card.
No, you don't. You don't deserve to be on any card.
Speaking of, Adam, what do you think?
Yeah, just like you didn't deserve points.
I didn't even talk about the match, you jerk.
I thought you did.
No,
I did.
well,
I talked
because you were thinking about yourself. You filibustered that whole time to say nothing.
My filibuster isn't over.
It will never be over until you are dead and buried.
No, it was okay. The only spot that I thought was weird was they had Rhea between the one ladder, and then they went to go slam another ladder onto it to like squish her in between it, and it just hit the ropes.
Oh no, I don't even think it was that. I think one of the sides got locked up, like the mechanism that usually locks in place. That got locked up, and so they had to redo it.
Yeah, it was like that didn't even do what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It didn't feel kind of like DJ said. It didn't feel as crazy as they used to. It just kind of was like, it was okay. There wasn't anything like, oh my god, that I was like, oh, That's awesome. It was like,
Yeah. Well, and
It
I
was- it was
think
a
too, I think that's
decent
kind of what made NXT great, especially during the Black and Gold era. Was like you never knew when stuff was coming, and then when it finally did, it was really good. And like, I mean, I'm not saying there shouldn't be Money in the Bank per se, but kind of like I was talking about before, like do it randomly or skip a year or two, and bring it back. That's kind of more of a special attraction, not just a yearly special attraction. I know there's been rumors about them potentially taking it away and stuff like that, but who knows? Adam, you got any thoughts?
Well, I had chimed in about halfway into the match, whatever. So from what I saw, it looked like it was fun and entertaining. There was one point, and you can ask Tanner because I was on his Twitch stream where they had the ladders wedged into the ladder in the middle, so it had like the two platform look. I said, like, why does this look like a pimple? It's just, but he brought up something that I have been screaming about forever: is there needs to be some cohesive conversation amongst the competitors. Do not wear something that is closely resembling somebody else in the match, because you will not stand out. Roxanne and I believe
Stephanie Vacour. Yeah, they wore the exact same color and almost the exact same style of attire. I was just like, I had to really focus to pay attention which one was which.
And that's like, and that's the producer in me. It's just like I remember back in the day where you definitively could see the difference between the competitors. And I have an example, and I'm going to put it in the chat room one of these times so you can see what I'm talking about. And I told Tanner about this. It was a SmackDown, and it was Jinder versus Bobby Roode, and they both were wearing the same thing. They both wore trunks, and they were both wearing blue. Now, yes, out of the gate, you could tell, like, okay, that's Jinder, that's Bobby, just because Jinder had longer hair. But if you weren't hyper fixated on that, you're like, who the hell is who?
Yeah,
because of both strong tans. Like, I don't know, that type of thing kind of drives me nuts.
Yeah.
But no, and
And sorry to just piggyback off that, even for like newer fans who are like maybe getting used to the roster,
yes,
that's
mainly what I'm saying. Yeah,
make it very clear which one is which. Like for example, like AJ Styles a lot of the time wears blue, right, and then loses clean. Sorry. He's on the TV. He's on the TV. I'm sorry.
He is on the TV. He's about to fight Chad Gable, and if he loses, you will see me crash out live.
And I was gonna say, Chad Gable wears the American flag, like red, white, and blue, so you can clearly be like, okay, that it's clear who's who.
Thank you.
Yeah. Adam, what did you have?
But no, that was just pretty much it. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Naomi as a heel. It's something different, whatever. Though I'm willing to let it play out, and to kind of go on my soapbox, I have never fully been a fan of the Money in the Bank concept. There has been great moments over the years, not discounting, Seth is the best, Dolph, Punk the first time, great moments. But just objectively on the surface, Money in the Bank benefits a heel.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah.
Like Edge's cash in. That's perfect for what it was meant to be.
Yeah.
But now I think it's just been kind of watered down. And to me, it's a cheaper way of somebody getting not a fluke, but not a fluke victory, because you basically got somebody incapacitated. But so it's more of guaranteeing a moment, but just I did like it more when it was at Mania. It felt bigger, and I've never been a fan of the individual gimmick pay-per-views, Hell in a Cell, TLC, Money in the Bank. That's just not my bag.
And stairs.
And stairs, oh my. But
God,
I
stairs
like
match.
I do like the old school, the in your house concept. I know we probably talked about this before, but the in your house concept where each in your house concept was a different theme. Beware of dog, buried alive, all that stuff. Backlash has got a good ring to it. I'm not discounting that, whatever, though, but to piggyback off of what Casey said, the Money in the Bank format now is not doing what like the old staple pay-per-views used to do. Like King of the Ring, yes, these guys were going for King of the Ring, but you still had storylines in the qualifying matches or the matches leading up to the finals on the last night. Survivor Series, same thing. You had 4 or 5 storylines wrapped in one, not just one brand versus the other. There was wrestler-based storylines within the tag matches. But again, like I said, I'm old school in a sense. But anyway, off my soapbox. Like, no, this was fun. I'm willing to see what goes with Naomi. It would fit better if she gets so airheaded and so bullish, like this is my time, and she loses her cash in.
Yeah, I agree. Moving into Dominic Mysterio and Octagon Jr., which kind of spawned from Worlds Collide.
That none of y'all watched.
I
That's
watched
correct. We only watch wrestling.
I like this. It kind of puts AAA on a.
I just want to piss them off.
It puts it puts AAA on a little bit of a pedestal here, against Dom. And I mean,
Sorry,
I like Dom.
Puts what on a pedestal?
AAA.
What?
AAA.
What? It's pro wrestling.
But I mean, I think it gives them a little bit of a platform as they push them to be their own brand, which I think will be good. So, but I mean, like I said, I like Dom's matches because I feel like Dom is a little slower. Like, he kind of slows it down a little bit, which I think is good.
He's a heel.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. No shocker that he retained. I mean, but I am a little surprised they went with Octagon Jr. instead of like a Vikingo, since they've been like promoting the heck out of him anyway, just a kind of a showcase style match of sorts. But still, I mean, he retained. I thought it was pretty good. They found a way to put another match on the card, so that's what they were looking for. So let's go to Adam.
I was quite upset that they did not include any of the other shapes. What happened to triangle? What happened to square? Why do they have to go with octagon? No, this was perfect for spur of the moment, last second match to be added. Whatever, it showed off octagon a little bit. Some nice moves like the springboard side tilt-a-whirl into the ring. That was nice. Whatever, but again, this was a good little filler match. Obviously, right decision. Dominic going over. Quick question. Me and Tanner were bouncing it off each other. Who had the better frog splash, Eddie or Rob Van Dam? And why is it Rob Van Dam?
It's Rob Van Dam because of the way he sold it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's Dom's dad, Eddie.
Nah, I even had to say, because I brought it up, like I posed the question, which is better, and I even have to agree. Nah, it's Rob, just because of the way he sells it.
Yeah,
Eddie's was awesome. Loved it. It's a thing of beauty, but it's just the poetry and motion that the way Rob does it, and with the selling immediately afterwards.
Twisting in the air too is another like Rob thing, like twisting in the air as he does it. Yeah. You feel like he can hit it from anywhere, like literally across the ring? Yeah.
Yes.
So because he gets the height and he hurts himself on his own move.
Yeah. It makes it better.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Because he's selling the emotion behind it, because he got so high that it even hurt himself.
Sir, that is the same argument you give with the Spanish Fly. You're like, which one
I
does
was
it hurt?
just going to say that, you son of a... Oh... Because that's why I hate the move. Who the hell's giving it? Who the hell's taking it?
Yeah, no, I kind of have to agree. It looks cool.
Well, you shouldn't be hurting yourself with your own move.
Okay, but would someone please say that to John Moxley when you give the Death Rider DDT and you go back first into a bed of nails?
But the other thing is, on a frog splash or any sort of diving move, you should hurt yourself. It's a high risk for both parties, not just for the guy taking it. And I think that is another reason why Rob's is a little bit superior, because he sells the fact that this is a high risk move. I'm going for everything. I'm going to win this darn match, but I'm going for it all.
I'm going to sacrifice my body. It may hurt me, but I'm going to win this match.
It's Eddie.
I mean, ask Bronson Reed's ankles.
Eduardo.
It is Eduardo Guerrero.
That's fine. Everybody has their own opinion.
Everybody has right to their wrong opinion.
Casey, what did you think?
I don't even remember what match we're on. Anyway, no. It was an okay match. I thought I liked how it was set up. I liked that it kind of spotlighted one of the AAA wrestlers since WWE acquired them. And I'm glad that it wasn't Vikingo, because he's going to be the one that you're going to see the most, because he's their champion.
Yes.
And I honestly don't think he's that good. Just saying. But I would rather it be somebody that you're not gonna think of as much, like an Octagon Junior. Also, and this is a little sidebar, and they're obviously not gonna do this, and I don't even know how they would necessarily translate it. But I wish they would do some sort of storyline with Octagon and Penta, because for those who don't know, their whole gimmick in AAA is they are like polar opposites of each other. Like, Octagon is supposed to be the good guy, babyface. Pentagon was the heel, and it stems from the 90s when you had Octagon and Pentagon, which were like polar opposites of each other, and now you have Octagon Junior and Pentagon Junior. I know he's now Penta, but originally he was Pentagon Junior. Yeah. But I wish they would do something with that, and because I feel like a storyline like that would get more people.
God.
Let me guess, he won.
He did.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, I think something like that with a guy who is as popular as Penta is would definitely get more eyes over to AAA, because if you acquire AAA, you obviously want people to, watch whatever you do with it.
Yeah. Tanner, what do you think?
He cheated. He had to cheat to win. Cheated.
AJ didn't cheat. There was no cheating. Anyway,
he grabbed the tights.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. There's no tights to grab a hold of. He's wearing a singlet.
He grabbed the tights. I saw it.
By the way, we're also looking at a live shot of Dominic trying to do the 619 in real time.
He's too damn tall.
No, I'll be honest with you. Good match, for what it was. It was a quick match, to bring in somebody who, bringing eyes to this new person. I didn't expect it to be El Vikingo. Just because, he's one of the big names. He's one of the top names. There needs to be a build up for that. I feel like, if you're going to be, bringing in one of your top guys. So
don't waste them.
Yeah, don't waste it on that. So, good match. I'm pretty sure if everybody would have answered their messages on time, we could have put that on the predictions really quick, and then maybe Casey would have gotten a point. But as it stands, no, even then he'd still probably pick Octagon to win, just because
he would have picked Penta.
Just that.
Yeah, he would have picked. He would have picked. He would have picked Penta just because, as a swerve.
I think he's got a chance. Come on, give him a chance,
By the way, I did pick Dom, so I technically get a point.
No, we didn't make that
Yeah,
official
no,
predictions. We didn't
no.
make official predictions for that
It's a
one
late
because it
prediction.
wasn't.
I get the point. It's a late
No,
prediction. I get the
there's
point.
no there. Nope,
I
it
get a
wasn't
point.
official.
I get a
No,
point.
no.
I get a
Okay,
point.
okay. Majority rules. How many think that should count in case you should get a point? Raise your hand.
I get a point.
I think just like that, we should move on because you shouldn't get a point.
I get a
Look,
Yeah,
point.
there we go.
I got a
Becky,
point.
Becky versus Lyra for the women's Intercontinental Championship. Um, I I like the ending of this for the simple fact of it's kind of like how Lyra's been winning all her matches. Like she's kind of just been finding a way to win, skating by, and then Becky kind of turned it on its head. And I like that. I mean, the match was good. They went back and forth. Going into the match, you feel like Becky's gonna win. You feel like she's gonna win, but you just know in your heart of hearts that it's possible that Lyra could win. So I mean, I think that does give this match a little bit of intrigue. But of course, Becky won, and Lyra had to raise her hand. But honestly, I was kind of waiting, kind of like we talked about on the predictions. I was kind of waiting for maybe Bailey to come, to pop up or something. But then it turned out it was Lyra who was gonna create the big pop out of everybody with the German. So I mean, I liked it. I thought it was a good surprise. I mean, I think we're obviously on a crash course for Becky versus Bailey, but especially for SummerSlam time that's coming up very, very soon. So I mean, I feel like with that, I think this sets up some good stuff. You still had Lyra look pretty good in this match because she almost picked up the victory, but hopefully Becky has a better run than Lyra has because I haven't really been impressed. But it's nothing against Lyra; it's more so against the booking. So I mean, I don't know. Adam, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, pretty much all that. It was fun. The little tease like oh, is Lara gonna pull it out? But I did like the markings on Becky's tank top because like that was obviously her kid that drew on that. That was pretty nice. I did like the milking. I mean, it might have gone on a little too long, whatever. But the milking of the what's she gonna do? Is she gonna deck her, whatever though? And then there was just that little pause of like, nope, she chickened out, and then boom, gives her the German, whatever. But no, good match, good match. It's not over just yet, so look forward to seeing that what goes forward.
All right, Casey, what'd you think?
For those just tuning in, I did get a point. I got a point for the previous match. I do have a point. So don't let them lie to you. I have a point. That was the sound of me getting another point.
Yeah, no.
Because because I did not pick Asuka. She wasn't even in the match. I clearly picked. Anyway, I I don't know. I thought this was a good match. I didn't like the end. Um, not that Becky making her raise her hand and everything. That was like part of the the stipulation, whatever. I just didn't like her then having her put the belt on because I felt like that was like a little too you know telegraphing what's gonna happen. I was like, oh, she's behind her. She's gonna do something. She's gonna hit her. She's gonna whatever. I just felt like something was gonna happen. Um, but it was a good match. I still kind of wanted to see Lyra win. I I don't think Becky needs the belt. I think Lyra needs it more. I don't know.
Okay.
I just think Becky's done everything. And not that I like want her to not, be in the WWE anymore. That's not at all. I just don't think she needs the belt right now. I almost think she's I don't want to say bigger than the belt, but like it's not gonna do anything for her right now.
Well, she is the man.
Obviously.
But yeah, the belt's not going to be doing anything for her. Like this is mainly to elevate the belt at this point.
Right. Yeah, but I still think somebody newer, a younger star, it would help better. Because either way, when you're less experienced, a championship can help you. It can get eyes on you. It can get you a little bit more TV time, get you more, reps basically.
Okay. Tanner, what'd you think?
I enjoyed it for what it was. Yeah, I kind of agree that it kind of milked it, but you know what? That was a good heel move at that point. So you know what? I applaud them for doing that. I thought it was the right decision for Becky. Yeah, I agreed that the belt would benefit Lyra more. But in order for a championship to really help out a younger person, you got to have name recognition alongside of the title lineage. Like, you look at stuff like the women's tag team titles. What lineage is there with that? There's not really a lineage, so those belts do nothing to help out the people that hold them.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at a person like Becky Lynch, you add that name to the lineage of the Women's Intercontinental Championship. That does something whenever the next person gets it. It's like they have beaten Becky Lynch. These important names have held this championship. That's why you look at like the WWE championship. You look at the amount of people that have held it. You look at the greats. You look at freaking John Cena. You look at Ric Flair. You look at all these names: The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin. That those names hold meaning to it. So the lineage of that title means something. So whenever a newer person comes up to hold that title, they are holding up that lineage there. So I think this is a good way to build up the lineage of that belt.
Yeah.
So I think eventually, whenever Lyra does maybe beat Becky, or if that feud comes around as Becky and Bayley, adding another name to the lineage. But I do agree that I think the title itself would benefit a younger person. However, these veterans, this is helping out the title mean something more.
Yeah.
I can't believe you left out the greatest champion of all time.
Don't you dare say freaking Jinder Mahal. I will come up to your house and I will whoop you and I'll put you in that crib of yours and lay you down for a permanent nap.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, first of all, you bitch. It's not Jinder Mahal. He's second. It's vacant. Won every championship there is.
I'm gonna go to your house and I'm gonna read you a bedtime story. I'm gonna wait till you fall asleep and I'm gonna lay you in that crib, pal.
So
and then I'm gonna constantly check on you from the baby monitor.
As we put Casey to sleep, let's move on to the Money in the Bank match. So I'll give my thoughts, and then I'm gonna. My dog over here is saying, "Hey, I gotta go out." So I'm gonna give my thoughts, and then I will let you guys fight amongst yourselves. But look,
no, we're just gonna talk crap back.
Yeah,
so with Seth winning this match, honestly, I don't know. I don't know if it got the reaction I thought they expected it to get. Because really, I mean, LA Knight kind of rose up the ladder, and everybody was like, "Okay, yep, here it comes." I think even with El Grande Americano, I think people were like, "Oh, this is a good surprise." I'd be really surprised by that. And I mean, honestly, I would have been fine with it. But anyway, I'm good with Seth winning this. I think it's interesting though, because I think it either puts Seth in a position to cash in and lose, probably by maybe a CM Punk or something again, or Seth wins and it's kind of one of those shorter title runs where probably I still feel like Punk takes it off of him. That's how I'm feeling about this one. Let's jump to Tanner first, and then we'll go to I guess we'll go to Casey and then Adam, since Adam's slipped out.
Okay. I personally enjoyed the Seth win. Again, I predicted it. I personally enjoyed it just because I like the story aspect that Seth having the briefcase can tell. Yes, I agree. It might would have been better to give it to somebody who hasn't had it, not have a repeat winner. But again, to be fair, I would have been fair. I would have been fine if it was LA Knight. I would have been okay with it. I would have been fine with it. However, people, you forget that he won this back in 2015. It's been 10 years, people. Why do we feel like this was like our most recent thing? This was a decade ago since he had it. He is a complete different character from whenever he first had the briefcase. I feel like this is going to tell a great story, especially for whenever, later tonight, whenever Jey Uso and Gunther's match gets done with, or in the middle of it, he comes out and cashes in right then and there. Again, I could look like a complete total fool by making this prediction, but you know what? This is what I think, and I think that would be a good reason for him to cash in, especially with Saudi Arabia coming up. There'd be a good chance for Seth to have the title and for Jay to come in and fight, or it would be a great triple threat: Jay versus Seth versus Gunther. That match itself, that triple threat, that sells money right there. So you know what? Yeah, that's just me. I enjoyed it. There was a lot of car crash moments in this match. I absolutely, I think me and Adam both cringed over the Olympic slam from the top of the ladder, because he got really close to hitting his head on the ladder on the way down. That close. So no, honestly, I think out of the two ladder matches, I enjoyed this one the most. But yeah, great job, guys.
Okay. Well, where are we? Is Casey win yet?
No, but I just got done.
Okay. Making sure. All right, Casey, how'd you feel about this one?
Kind of like DJ said, I don't think they got the reaction they expected. I don't think the reaction was as big as they expected. Not to say that it wasn't like a good reaction. It was, but I don't think it was as big as they expected it to be. And it was kind of. I feel like it was predicted. When, especially because you have the rest of his guys come out, so you're like, okay, yeah, they're gonna get involved.
But they didn't give it up. I mean, I
Right.
feel like a good thing is they didn't give it up right when they came out. They kind of let
Right.
it steam a little bit longer, which
Yeah.
is good.
Well,
Yeah,
there was also another part of the match. I think that was the bigger point.
Oh
of
yeah, I
this
didn't even
match.
mention that. I'm gonna leave that later, because your reaction was priceless.
I think I know what you're talking about. Let me focus on that real quick. It was something that Wade Barrett said is what they're talking about, and he pointed something out in this match that I don't
What?
think anyone else has really noticed, and I did, obviously, because I'm a great analyst.
I know what you're talking about now. Damn it.
El Grande Americano and Chad Gable, we have proven are different people, because if you look, and you really have to look, they have completely different nipple sizes and shapes.
I knew
Okay.
you were going to bring it up.
So it's proof right there that they are two entirely different people. They have completely different nipples.
See that, and that's why Daniel Bryan and Eric Young are different wrestlers.
Exactly. They have
But
different
they are
nipples.
different wrestlers.
Yeah, I will say too, just piggybacking off of probably what Adam is going to say. I do think
About the
that
nipples?
particular. No, I do feel like that particular storyline with the bloodline. I'll just put it there. I do think that was one of the big moments of this whole thing. Too. I thought that was good. Also, speaking of the bloodline, Solo is hilarious, and I hope they just kind of let him run with being funny.
Yeah.
I think he is like just such a troll, and I think like he's either the enforcer that's completely silent, or he can be a troll that can make people laugh and still be semi taken seriously. So hopefully they stick with that as his whole thing. But Adam, thoughts on me? What do you think?
First of all, Chad Gable has the most chosen nipples on this planet.
And they are completely different from El Grande Americano. You're
I am going to punch you in the face repeatedly.
They will still have different nipples.
0 points. Anyway,
I have one.
that was my favorite part of the match was the Fatu turn, especially with the stick in the landing of the I hate you solo yank and then boom super kick, and then I almost forgot that the tag match still had to happen because like that was such a rush. I almost wanted that to be the main event, but we'll get to the main event. I don't have a problem necessarily with Seth winning, but like of the bunch, like I would have rather seen LA Knight get it. I would have rather seen if Grande Americana would have gotten it, I may have broken my television because
Same.
just for the simple fact of like how many times is he going to put that stupid plate in his mask? And when I forget who it was, I don't know if it was LA Knight, when he was going to give him the rocket launcher and then he started climbing up the ladder. I'm like, move the ladder and let him hit the post with that thing in his mask. So really go loopy. But I don't think that Seth needed it. However tonight goes, like this needs to be a short reign, if you want to call it that. Like he needs to cash it in ASAP, just for the simple fact of he's got 3 goons with him that will help him. Like to me, you don't sit on that forever because at any time, like you can, you've got the cards, you got the ace in the hole, if you will. We'll see how tonight goes. But this was a lot of fun. The highlight of the match was like to me was the Fatu turn. I almost thought Bronson Reed died, or I'm sorry, I thought Solo almost died when he gave him that Uranagi on the ladder. As he didn't quite get him up, and that was all head and shoulder blades on the ladder. But it's a lot of fun. I don't know, as someone on TikTok said this, if you're not going to give LA Knight an opportunity, stop putting him in these matches.
Yeah. Because
you are continuing to devalue him.
And I think it's kind of unfortunate because it's like, with LA Knight, I can understand him being over enough to not feel like he needs a title, but I could just feel the kavorka of him having the title, like I can already sense like what it would be like. Just the promos he'll cut, like he'll elevate that title even more just on the fact of promos alone. So I mean, yeah, I'm definitely I'm excited for the time when it comes. We'll see. Main event. So Cody Rhodes, main event. Jey Uso, the world champion, going up against John Cena and Tanner's favorite wrestler, Mr. Ayo himself, and I ain't talking about Razor Ramon. Logan Paul.
Didn't he beat AJ Styles clean?
Casey, crib, permanent sleep.
So
who else beat AJ clean? I forgot. Who's the other one? It just I can't seem to remember. Who? Oh God! It was somebody else very recently that beat him clean, and I can't think of who it was. I know he has different nipples than Chad Gable. That's all I know.
What is your obsession?
Okay. So I will say, of course, this match was fine. I mean, I did enjoy the match, but of course, the peak moment of this match was the return of Ron, the Truth Killings. Okay. And by that name, by the way. Just because, like, for me, I mean, I'm just sitting here watching it, and I'm not expecting that at all. I mean, I don't know if anybody was, but nope. I mean, it was perfect. I don't care who made the call. I don't care. I don't care. Like, this is what it's all about, right? Regardless, of knowing backstage politics, whatever, why he was gone, why he shouldn't have, was it a work the whole time? Who cares? It doesn't really matter. Him returning was just everything you needed. And him returning and hitting John Cena with the belt, the facial expressions, it just makes you wonder. It sets up a lot of things. Even if it's not necessarily him and Cena, just in general, just with Ron Killings and what his character could be. Maybe something a little bit more serious now we get from R-Truth, because he's been the butt of the joke for a while.
He was an NWA champion.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I think people need to realize. True. But if you want to talk about reactions, mine and Tanner's reaction on the Twitch stream was legendary.
Golden.
I screeched like a little girl.
Yeah. Yeah, it was to the point where I could not hear him, like his mic peaked, and I could not hear him screaming. It was that high pitched.
Yeah, I thought it was great. It was a great moment. It's one of those wrestling moments where you're just like, this is why as crazy as it happens sometimes, as crazy as it can be. This is why. But Adam, go ahead and give your thoughts on this main event.
Well, I don't know. I want to hear Casey's analysis on Truth's nipples. Anyway,
he'll go into a whole thing.
All right, pal. Listen.
I wasn't going to say anything about his nipples. God.
No, it ended up being a better match than I anticipated, because it actually hit the beats of what to me a wrestling match is supposed to be. Like, kind of a nothing burger at first, but then it slowly started peaking, and then you have the minor little teases of dysfunction with Logan and then Cena, and then some of the missed spots, Logan splashing Cena and all that stuff. But I thought maybe, because again, the Truth thing, had no idea. Even though, again, this is where again I get a little too analytical, whatever kayfabe. This is where if this is a mark in the ring, wouldn't you have security try to take him off? But it's like, who's this hooded man in the ring? I don't know what we do. He's so tough. Like to me, there should have been some semblance of urgency in that regard. To me, it would have added to the moment, whatever. But when Cena came in and hit Cody with the belt, I'm thinking this will be the payoff of what he should have done at Mania, which was, block and nut kick him. But he nails him with the belt. I'm like, oh, God. And then there was the slow percolation, and then this person runs in. Again, I've got no unearthly idea who the hell it could possibly be. If anything, I was just kind of given the body type and all that stuff, and this is kind of what he wears. I'm like, is this Punk? Just because it kind of fits, it's Money in the Bank, it's John Cena, this, that, and the other. And it wasn't until the unravel, I'm like, oh my God. And like I said, Tanner can verify, I was like, they worked us like marks. They worked us. And to your point, DJ, immediately I said, I don't care what the working relationship was, how this came to be. I'm just going to enjoy this. But in this day of the internet, I've already seen some scuttlebutt of how that, what came about from that. But in the moment, this was perfect, and it got to a fever pitch, and it was a great way to end the show. What I thought might have been good match, but it was just kind of kind of just there. Ended up being the perfect way to close the show.
Yeah, and I think too, before Casey gets in his point, I think just this is kind of like Triple H's WWE to a certain degree. Now, I'm not, I've obviously heard different things about maybe it wasn't Triple H's decision, maybe it was Khan's decision. Regardless, WWE has done a good job of listening to the fans under Triple H. You could say Nick Khan, right? Like they do have a pulse of what the fans want, and it may not be perfect all the time, but in terms of big things, they will put their egos to the side and for lack of a better term, do what's best for business. And Same thing with Punk's return. We never thought it would happen. Incredible moment. This here, I mean, we thought Truth was out the door and doing his own thing. So it's like to see him come back and even kind of like we talked about, tease even just a couple of teases here and there where it's like, what is this R-Truth? That's it brings that much more intrigue. I think he's supposed to speak on Raw too, so that'll be interesting too to see. If I don't know if he already has, but that'll be interesting to see. Where that goes to. So,
well, not to mention this, just as a side point to that this doesn't work if you don't bring him back as Ron Killings.
Yeah,
it was a move like this. It has to be the guy now.
Yeah, I think so. Casey, what do you think?
Well, quick sidebar, because I'm also watching Raw live with it muted. They had a, because this is around the time that they're doing the Queen of the Ring, and I know we mentioned pay-per-views. That's one I wish they would bring back as an actual pay-per-view, King of the Ring, and you could do Queen of the Ring in there as well. I just don't understand why they're doing, like, for the first round it's like fatal 4-way matches, and then into the semis and then the finals. I wish they would just do it like they used to, where it's like, okay, first round match, then quarterfinals, then semifinals, then into the finals, because it builds it up more. But whatever. I just hope they would. I wish they would bring back the actual pay-per-view, because that was one of my favorites. As for the match, this one, I thought it was good. One thing that Adam brought up is something that I was thinking too, kind of, and I think about this anytime they do a spot like this, where somebody comes in a hood, or what, blah blah blah, or even if it's like a cameraman that ends up being somebody returning or whatever. It doesn't make sense, because one, if it's a fan coming in, right, if it's a mark jumping in, 9 out of 10 times, and I've seen a bunch of marks jump the rail, right, to attack a heel or whatever, and 9 out of 10 times they get their shit rocked, because if that's actually happening, guess what? The guys in the ring, they're working together. They're still friends, right? They're not going to let you attack one of their brothers. They're going to kick the shit out of you. And that's the ref included. The ref's going to get in on it too. And I've seen it happen. So that doesn't make sense, that nobody would like stop, whether it's security, whether it's the guys in the ring, like, what the fuck is going on? Put the boots to them. Or again, like I said, if it's because we've seen like cameramen, like, be guys returning or attacking somebody. How would you even do that? Like, is there nobody checking to make sure credentials, like, of who's the cameraman? Stuff like that just doesn't make sense, and maybe we're thinking too much into it, but there's too many plot holes when you do a spot like that.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if Adam was gonna add something there, but
no,
yeah.
It's just the simple fact that, like, again, we understand it's a show, but don't present it as if it couldn't actually happen.
Yeah,
right.
I understand it. It's television show, and, like, sure, even if you hint at something, it's like, hey, you slip the guy a couple of bucks, to, like, hey, when this match comes on, I'm gonna put on the gimmick and all that, just something. But, like, when it's a blatant, like, okay, this was a pre-planned spot, and there's cooperation, but it takes you out of it a little bit. But regardless, I'm trying to just show the fact that, like there is opportunities for you to still suspend your disbelief, but I also can put that aside and just absorb the moment at hand. Like I said, like I said, I was screeching. I was like, oh my God, they worked this. Like I said, with him coming back as Ron Killings, to me, makes it a little bit more authentic. If he comes back as Truth and he's just still doing the goofy stuff, which is fun, that's one of the things we like about Truth. But that would have felt planned. They were chanting, "We want Truth" all night.
Yeah.
And then for it to happen in this match to John Cena, icing on the cake.
I agree.
Yeah.
Tanner, what's your thoughts on the main event?
I enjoyed it. It was a slow burn of a match. I was kind of like, because I know me and Adam were kind of like talking with each other. It's like, man, this is kind of getting slow. I was like, well, let's give it a moment. It's kind of like gear shifting on a car. The match itself was shifting through the gears, it was like each spot, especially toward the end, was revving up more. It was kicking into the third gear, kicking into fourth, and then into fifth. And then, by golly, WWE hit the turbo button whenever they brought back Ron the Truth Killings. Okay, I'll be honest with you. As soon as he jumped into the ring, I already knew who it was because I was looking at his body. And whenever he slid in, I saw that his pants slid up, and I saw it. I was like, nah, yeah, no, that's got to be truth.
I saw
There's got to be truth.
I saw that too, but I didn't put two and two together that it was true for whatever reason. Like,
oh
I'm
my
like,
God, it's Velveteen Dream.
No, it's just one of those, like, I saw like the pants slide up, and I saw his skin exposed. Like, that's got to be truth. Like, there's no way that it can't be. So I know some people were like, "Was this Punk?" I'm like, "No, that." I was like, automatically, I know you assumed. I was like, "No, that's truth." I was thinking it because I was like, I didn't want to spoil none. I was just like, "Yeah, no, this has got to be truth."
Well, I felt like an idiot. Big shock. I felt like an idiot afterwards. I'm like, he wouldn't have to conceal himself because he could have just ran out of the crowd.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying like before, like about people running from the crowd that's under a hood. Like, if it's one of the boys, like, that's just happenstance. You just run through the crowd. But again, if it's somebody coming in covered up, masked up, all that stuff, you're like, this could be a mark. Like, kind of show, like, hey, this isn't part of the show, blah, blah, blah. And then you pull pull them out from behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Well, and I almost would rather it be somebody like wearing like a Pentagon mask or something. So it's like, you actually maybe this actually is a fan or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I still like I really like it was shaping up kind of like what Adam said. It was shaping up to be an all right match, but yeah, no. Having Ron come in and clock Cena and then Cody getting the win, I thought it was interesting. It was an interesting choice because originally I thought Logan was there to eat the pin, but the fact that John Cena ate the pin, I liked it. I liked it a lot. And so, yeah, you know what? No notes. I enjoyed it. I don't think of a better way it could have ended.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was very good. I enjoyed the show. Let us know what you guys thought about this show down below. Appreciate you guys coming by as always, the people watching, and also this glorious panel. Can I say that since Tanner's
yes, you can. This has been a glorious panel. Also, just a quick interruption. Bailey just attacked Becky.
Oh, where's that?
Is she back to old school Bailey?
No.
Crap.
No, it's not the hugger.
I miss hugging Bailey. There ain't no stopping.
All right, fellas, let's get up out of here. I'll see you guys on the next one. This has been the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always, and I mean always,